Yo guys, what is going on? Got some EX2 gameplay for you guys showing off the Reaper deck. I'm super excited for a really fun and unconventional deck. Well, fun for you, definitely not for your opponent there. So I'm going to start things off by, of course, hatching the boss monster and the Digiegg for the deck, which is going to be the Mother D Reaper. So since it's a Digiegg, you can just hatch it and then actually move it out to the battle area the following turns, since it actually does have DP and it's treated as a Digimon while you have it in play. And then I'm just going to play the Searcher for a cost of 1. Since I didn't have a Searcher on field, it reduces the cost by 2, and then you basically just get to draw 1. I'm actually playing against Armor Rush up at the top, so we're going to see the Jamming Veemon plus the Ken Davis played for a cost of 4. And then now, since Mother Reaper is now on the field, I'll be able to use the once per turn effect to put a Searcher from hand or field underneath her as a material, and then once per turn you can also reduce the play cost for any D Reaper when playing from your hand for depending on how many materials you've got in play. So you see there, I'm just going to play the Searcher there for a reduced cost, and then play the Jerry for a cost of 5. And then she also has this cool main effect where you get to suspend her and then put any Searchers amongst the top 5 from your deck to the Mother Reaper source. So we're going to go ahead and move up the Veemon, swing security, jamming, of course draw a card as well since I've got stuff without materials, and then going to go ahead and Digivolve that into the Magnamon. Magnon will unsuspend the Veemon, of course, and then now we've got a 7,000 blocker to deal with. Of course, Searcher can't really attack, so I'm not really worried about it, and typically with Jerry, you want to leave her on field while getting her main effect. We're then going to just see a blue memory boost, revealing the top 4, and then grabbing probably the Veemon. I'd imagine one of the Veemons, or perhaps the Magnamon there. We're going to see the Magnamon added, probably got enough Veemons in hand, and then the rest are going to go to the bottom. So of course I'm going to start my turn with 3, not going to hatch a Digiegg since I'm just playing 1 copy of the Mother. You realistically could play 4, you probably should, to be honest. Realistically, the only thing that's outing a Mother D Reaper is like a Jesmon or a Black War Greymon or something. So anyways, we're just going to use the D Reaper effect to stick a Searcher underneath, once again building up the stack there, and then using Jerry's effect to reveal 5, and of course not hitting anything. You saw some of the yellow spice I am actually playing in this deck, and playing stuff like Spiral Masquerade. I think is really crazy in this list. And then we're going to play the Pendulum Feet for a cost of 3, revealing some cards, and then adding, I believe it's a Searcher plus any D Reaper, so we're going to get a +2 here. Probably gonna want to grab the Gatekeeper there since we already got a Bubbles, and then going to put the rest at the bottom of the deck. And then of course I can also use the Mother's effect to reduce a cost by 2 when playing something from my hand. So I can maybe play a Bubbles for a cost of 1. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Play it for a cost of 1, and then I'm going to be able to stick a Searcher underneath the Mother D Reaper, speeding up my win condition just a little bit, because as you guys know, once Mother gets to that kind of 7 threshold, 7 material threshold, that is when the Reaper can hit the field. So we're going to leave our opponent with 1, of course, starting with 2 because the dual tamer there. Going to evolve the Veemon, and then going to swing over the Jerry with the Magnamon. It's definitely a good idea. You don't want your opponent to resolve Jerry multiple times, because again, like I said, it just speeds up your win condition and helps you OTK your opponent even quicker. So we're going to just see a Davis played for a cost of 4, revealing the top 3 cards. Not going to get the +2, but we are going to take the Flame Dramon in hand. Flame Dramon plus Jamming Veemon is a really sick combo, because you can always swing multiple times. For example, like swing Veemon, unsuspend with the Ken Davis, and then swing again with the Flame Dramon there. We're just going to draw here, and then probably just play the Searchers. The deck can get a little bit boring, to be honest. You're really just like doing the same thing every turn. So we're going to play Searcher for a cost of 1, and then use Mother's effect to stick it underneath. So now we are at a total of 4 materials here. I could definitely start swinging as well, but you typically want to just keep your field until you're ready to OTK. So we're then going to play another Searcher, of course, for a reduced cost. I'm going to use the Mother D Reaper's effect to make that cost 0, and then just going to play the TK Kari here for a cost of 4. So our opponent will start with the 4 memory, and since he is an aggro deck, I will definitely be able to get use out of the TK Kari. We're already sitting at 3 security right there, and we're going to hit the Spiral Masquerade in security. So Spiral Masquerade is going to trigger, that is going to be -3,000 for every single Digimon in play. Keep in mind, we do have have 4 Digimon in play. So right here is actually going to be a misplay. I do apologize about that, guys. So my initial thoughts when me and my buddy were playing this was that Mother D Reaper is a Digitama, so it doesn't count as a Digimon, so it'd only be minus 9,000, say, on the Magnamon, and then not delete the Vmon. But that's actually not the case. It turns out that anything in the battle area is treated as a Digimon. So Mother D Reaper's text even says this Digimon. So long story short, it does count for the Spiral Masquerade requirement. So again, do apologize for that, guys. I do try my best to exclude misplays from these videos, but sometimes they're just unavoidable. But anyways, we're just going to evolve that Vmon that's going to linger on the field into a Magnamon, a Fire Rocket, and swing for security. Now, security is actually going to hit a Gatekeeper, and then Gatekeeper's effect will play itself for free, recovering 1, since we do now have since we have Mother D Reaper on the field, which is actually crazy. And then after that, we're going to pop the blue memory booster. Our opponent will then use the armor texture to trash the Magnamon, and then give a Vmon evolve into the Flame Dramon here, which will evolve for a cost of 2 Flame Dramon. I believe is plus 2,000 from the original Magnamon, and then is going to sit at another plus 3,000 from itself. So I believe it is at 10k, checking 2 again here, since we did see the Fire Rocket previously. So we're just going to go ahead and swing that, checking the rest of my security. And then once again, we are going to use one of the armor option cards, using the Plasma Shot this time, which will do minus 4,000 to one of my Digimon, and then minus 2,000 to everything on the field, since there are 2 armors in the trash right now. So I believe he is going to delete the bubbles, and then one of the searchers, of course, since everything gets minus 2,000. And then it's going to go ahead and start my turn. I will go plus 4 on the memory, since I am sitting at 0 security. So starting the turn with 8 here gives me plenty to work with. So you guys will see in just a little bit, the accumulation of advantage you get in the D Reaper deck is just absolutely crazy. So first of all, we're just going to go ahead and swing Pendulum Feet into the security, hitting a Dual Tamer, which is really unfortunate, which is going to give our opponent even more memory to work with. First of all, we're going to play a Searcher to trigger the Draw 1, of course, for a reduced cost of 1, then using Mother D Reaper's main effect to stick the Searcher underneath. So then now we could potentially play this Gatekeeper for a reduced cost. It is going to reduce the cost by 1 for each card in our Mother D Reaper sources. So that is reduced by 5, I believe, making it a 6 cost, going down to 1 memory. And then after that, going to play a Searcher for another cost of 1. And then we're just going to play the Kari for a cost of 4. And then, of course, our opponent will start with 2 extra memory. Now, this was a very risky play. If our opponent had any form of hybrid or another armor texture, it would have been really bad for us. But we are actually going to hit another Spiral Masquerade in security. Even though the Flame Dramon is 8,000, it's not going to matter. We have got a ton of Digimon on field to be able to just nuke the board. Absolutely crazy stuff. And then we're just going to play another Dual Tamer for a cost of 4. Also got the Vmon in the back, so our opponent does really only need 1 more attack to be able to close out the game. We're going to use the Megadeth for a cost of 5, bouncing back the Pendulum Feet just to save us a security check, I suppose, because bouncing back the Gatekeeper would definitely not be a good idea. So, of course, now we will start the turn with plus 4 because of our TK Karis, and now that we use Mother D Reaper's effect, we are sitting at 6 materials underneath our D Reaper. So of course our Gatekeepers will have the continuous during your opponent's turn. All of their Digimon get security attack -1. So a ridiculous floodgate effect. This essentially means we are safe unless our opponent like double Fire Rockets or something, actually triple Fire Rockets in this case, since we got 2 floodgates. Our opponent will not be able to swing for game, which is absolutely crazy. So I've got 2 very powerful floodgates on the field, and we're going to go ahead and go Pendulum Feet for a cost of 3, grabbing the Pallet Head. I'm only playing that as a 1-of, I believe, but it is a really good removal card since your Mother D Reaper boosts the DP of all of your dudes. And then we're just going to go ahead and play another Pendulum Feet, revealing the top 3. We are going to grab the Creep Hands plus the Searcher once again from the top there. And then of course, I don't believe we've used the Mother D Reaper's effect to reduce the play cost, so we could once again play something from the hand for a reduced cost of 6 this time, which is just absolutely crazy, guys. So we are probably going to, we could even use the Searcher since we don't have one on field, play that for a cost of 1. Or we could go Creep Hands if we got a blocker on field. So we are going to actually go into Searcher, and finally drew into the Reaper, guys. So that is the absolute monster of a card. It's a game closer for sure. That is the card you want to see, and honestly lets you just win games straight up because they can attack multiple times. 15,000 with Rush is just ridiculous. So we are going to play the Gatekeeper for a cost of 5 here, since we have 6 materials, and then recover 1. So our opponent's Digimon are all getting security attack -3. There's just absolutely no realistic way that the Armor Rush deck can out this. He's already used 1 Megadeth, 1 Plasma Shot. At best, he's got a couple more, but even then, he's not going to be able to clear 3 Gatekeepers from the field. So we're just going to go ahead, swing security to get the draw, and then go into the Magnamon to unsuspend and put up a blocker, which is, I believe, like 11,000 or something at this point. Doesn't really matter how big it is, because we'll be able to deal with it no problem. Also, keep in mind, I could have definitely suspended the Kari there off of the Gatekeeper play to put my opponent to 4. That's another, that's one more slight misplay. I want to say that's not like entirely game breaking, but definitely a minor thing that we could have adjusted. So we're going to see the Lydramon, which unfortunately can't suspend anything because the D-Reaper Digimon do not have levels. Same thing with Shakumon. Shakumon will be Jogress here, recovering 1, and will be able to bounce a level 5 or lower Digimon on the field, but of course the D-Reapers do not have levels, so none of that effect will be able to apply. We are then going to just see a Megadeth to bounce back one of the Gatekeepers to hands, and then putting me at 5, and then going to 9 since we got double TK Kari. Of course, going to put 1 material underneath the Mother D-Reaper, and now since I've got 7, I can just go ahead and play the Reaper from my hand for free. So when playing Reaper, if you've got 7 materials, 7 or more, you can trash all of them underneath the Mother D-Reaper, playing it for a 0 cost. It's got Rush, it can attack immediately, and then when attacking, you can stick 2 Searchers underneath it from your trash to unsuspend it. So it essentially gets an extra attack for each 2 Searchers you place underneath it. So it's going to swing security. Of course, that first check is going to be Davis, and of course going to be able to unsuspend, and then that one attacking effect is not once per turn, so we will be able to just go ahead and swing once again, and then use its effect to stick 2 more Searchers. And by the way, it's boosting its DP all the while, so we're going to check 1 more card, swing a 3rd time, and then put 2 more materials underneath it, unsuspend once again. Like I said, there's not really anything you could do unless you have like a Megadeth or something. So then we're going to swing again, and then putting a couple more materials underneath it. Here I've got 1 more in the stack there, but I did actually have a couple from guys. That is going to be the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. I thought this was a pretty solid showcase of how crazy the D-Reaper deck can be. Of course, it does definitely take some time to set up, but I thought it was really fun to mess around with regardless. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.